It is the Authority Project, and I'm Brian S. Arnold here, your host. And I'm here with my new good friend, Ben Rusk. And he says he's here to help us discover how to, he's going to show us how to buy silver and gold or gold and silver. Is that right, Ben?
That is correct. We're looking to help people take control of their wealth and get it into a stable asset before the financial crisis comes down upon all of us.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I can't wait. I can't wait for this one, people. We shall see what he can do for us today on this amazing episode of The Authority Project.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, feast your eyes and tune your ears. It's that time again. We are live with another episode of The Authority Project. It's the video podcast streamed on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope, where we talk to digital marketers, business coaches, and creators of all kinds on how they've built authority in their field and how you can mimic their success. Developing authority, building your audience, and attracting better clients to your own business. Now, without further ado, let's bring to the virtual stage your host, Brian S. Arnold.
All right, and we're back on another one, folks. It is the Authority Project, and I am Brian S. Arnold. Yes, this is the Authority Project, and you are the project. We want to slap authority to your name so you can sell more of what you're great at. And I am here with my good friend, my new good friend here, Ben Rusk. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Awesome, awesome. So before we dive into buying gold and silver, please tell us who you are, Ben. Who are you personally and then professionally?
Well, I am actually a gold miner. I've spent my time out in the mountains, digging in the dirt, looking for those little bits of yellow in the
Okay.
ground and trying to bring home as much as I can. And as you all know, it can be quite a tedious process because most of the gold you find is little specks, little flakes, possibly a nugget if you get a lucky day. But in order to really uh, process the image of piles and piles of gold and silver coins in your mind, you got to understand where it comes from. And that's why I was so excited when I learned that I could actually acquire gold and silver online, because it takes an enormous amount of equipment, time, to collect enough gold to actually make one coin out of it. It's a great hobby. It's a great pastime, but obviously you're not going to get rich as an individual with a pick and shovel out in the field.
Awesome, awesome. So let's go further with that. So what does your daily routine look like right now?
So right now, I spend most of my time looking for people that are interested in the world of gold and silver investing. A lot of people really still think today that it's illegal to hold gold and silver because of what they went through during the Depression when gold had to be turned into the banks. So to enlighten them to the point that you can actually buy it online today, they are excited to take their money out of the bank and turn it into a hard asset like precious metals, because we tell most people that we run into, if you don't hold it, you don't own it.
Hmm.
And a lot of people have their entire wealth saving, their nest egg, sitting in a bank. And basically, you do not hold it. You're trusting somebody else with it, that they'll do the right thing and they'll give it back to you when the time comes that you need it. But we know that during the times of the Great Depression, the banks shut the door because people were making a run on the bank to get their money out of the bank.
Yeah. Awesome, awesome. This is fascinating, my friend. So tell us why gold and silver? What's the appeal? What's the appeal now? I can see maybe before, going out there and digging just for adventure and the kind of like the treasure hunt kind of mentality. But what's the appeal now?
Well, for me, the appeal now is we have to do what the educational system did not do, and that's educate our younger generation. For years, our grandparents worked for a pension and then retired. And then our parents came along and they worked for Social Security, and then they retired. The kids today have no idea that by the time they work 40 hours a week for 40 years, the only thing they're going to be left with is whatever they accumulated in wealth. There is not going to be a pension. There is not going to be a Social Security program as it exists today. So if they don't start building their wealth and taking control of their future today, they're going to arrive on the other end of that 40 years with nothing to show for it. People today are sitting there at the end of their careers with nothing to show for it. And why is that? That's because for so long, most of us have been riding the stock market up and down, right? And
Right.
even now, the crypto investors are riding the market up and down, up and down. So we're helping to educate people that while you're riding that roller coaster up the wealth ladder, that when you get to the top, take a little bit of those profits and store it in gold and silver, so that when the time comes and that roller coaster hits back down the other side, you'll have something to show for it when you're back down to the bottom of that trench in that roller coaster ride, to take your gold and silver and reinvest it and ride that roller coaster back up again. It's a concept of taking the profits. The question is, where do you store it while the markets are crashing? Well, gold and silver has held its value for over 5,000 years. Yes, the price does fluctuate, but it doesn't fluctuate much. So if you take all those dollars at the top of the cycle and put it in gold and silver, ride the cycle back down again, your gold and silver's only going to fluctuate a little bit. And then you can come back into the market with your profits and ride the cycle back up again.
Awesome. So it sounds great. It sounds something that should be reasonable for anyone to really think about. How do we get started then?
Well, it's actually really simple. I'm an associate for a company that allows us to buy a membership in an exclusive club that provides us with the ability to buy gold and silver at dealer direct pricing. The company owns its own mines, so they're able to acquire the raw minerals at cost. They have relationships with the mint so that they can get their own exclusive coins minted. And we also have gold and silver bullion orders in with the mints, like gold, American Silver Eagles and American Gold Eagles, so that we have a supply that will last us into 2023. So while other companies charge, they say you can get silver for as low as a certain price, you can get it, but you have to order 1,000 or 1,500 ounces to get that price.
Wow.
We allow you to get that price whether you order 1 or 100 coins. So we truly do have the best prices. And when you order through other companies, you'll find that most of the time they're on back order. So you may wait 16 weeks before you can get your order. And the reason for that is the mints have run out of silver. The supply that they had available to them dried up. So because we own our own mines, we don't have that problem. So we can get our raw material to the mint so that they can produce the coins. And that's just the gold and silver aspects of the membership. We have many other benefits as well. Travel, health benefits, things like that nature, where this membership provides you many of the things that you may find that you need if you're an individual that, may have just lost their job, laid off, or can't find a job to make ends meet.
Yeah.
So the membership provides a lot of those necessities that one may find themselves needing at a very reasonable price.
Wow. Okay. That sounds great to me. All right. So this is like a long-term game. So this isn't something like, get rich with, like I said before, to get rich with gold and silver. This is how to really kind of generate long-term wealth is what you're saying here, correct?
How to secure your assets. Yes.
Okay.
And that's the nice thing about this. We talk about
Right.
lotions and potions and pills. You know, you buy these products and they sit on a shelf, and every single one of them has an expiration date.
Yeah.
You're either going to consume it or you're going to throw it away. When with gold and silver, you're not buying a product, you're buying an asset. You can set it on the shelf forever. And when you're ready, you can take it off the shelf, take it down to your local coin shop, jewelry store, or even a bank, and you can turn it in for, tangible assets. Convert it back into cash that you may need for some emergency in the future. We're finding that a lot of the people we talk to, a $400 emergency would be, affecting their budget on a serious level.
Okay.
So to have assets, to be your own bank, to have these assets in a safe in your house, allows you to pull on an emergency fund when you need it, but it's holding its value. Right now, we understand that the dollar is losing its value because anytime you print more of something, the value of that something starts to go down, which is what we call inflation, right? So it's going to start costing people more and more money to buy groceries or gas in the near future because the value of the dollar bill is just dropping at this time. Yeah. So what are our options to, hedge against this pending financial change in our life? Well, acquiring assets that will hold their value is the way to do that.
Awesome. So this is great. So let me ask you this question because I saw this question and I want to get your I want to know what this was all about. What is the $1.2 million mistake that you're talking about here?
I'm so glad you asked that. So the American Silver Eagles, which we're talking about this coin right here.
Okay.
Began minting that in 1986. If you had acquired just one of these coins per month, every month since 1986, you would have spent around $50,000. But the value of that portfolio would be $1.2 million. The reason for that is just like this year today, certain years the mints were unable to produce a high quantity of these coins. It's called mintage. How many coins did the mint produce? And of those coins, how many of them were an MS-70, meaning that they were a mint state or a perfect coin? And these coins here are MS-70s to where they're a perfect coin, and collectors look for these. Now, some of these years were pretty rare. 1999, one of these coins sold for $16,000. And because of the low mintage and the rarity of some of these coins, that's where the $1.2 million mistake came from. Wow. Now, an example of why investing in silver is a wise thing to do. We tell the story of 1965 when you could have bought a Ford Mustang for $2,500 or 2,500 silver eagles. A silver eagle in 1965 was worth $1. Now today, if you were to go to the Ford dealer and walk in and ask if you could buy a brand new Ford Mustang for $2,500, they'd say, probably can get you a set of tires. But if you actually had 2,500 silver eagles today, you could walk into a Ford dealer and purchase 2 brand new Ford Mustangs off the showroom floor. Wow. That's how well silver has held its value over time.
That's great stuff. That's great stuff. So my next question is this, and it's pretty simple. Can anyone do this? Do you need special training? Is there a big learning curve? Is this for everyone, Ben? Tell me.
So the answer is absolutely yes. It is for everyone. We do have a membership, and the membership does require that you be 18 years old. There are some things you can do with LLCs and things like that, where if there's a younger person and their parents want to get them involved in collecting coins, things can be set up to help them as well, and we can talk about that at a later time. Uh, but the membership allows anybody to join and begin purchasing silver coins. And like I said, the $1.2 million mistake was you had to buy one of these every month in order to catch the months that were valuable and make the $1.2 million portfolio. So our autosaver program does just that. It ships you one silver eagle every month as on an autosaver auto ship program, so that you don't miss that $1.2 million mistake again in the future. But it also puts people on an automatic savings program so that you have silver in your possession when you need it.
Awesome. So this question is just popping up in my head right now, because I remember being younger and seeing, and maybe in my later years too, seeing these commercials, pop up. Buy this gold coin, blah blah blah. Late at night, buy this coin. I'm like, well, is this anything? Is this a joke or whatever? So, do you still see those kind of commercials, or have you seen those commercials before and think like, do you jump at the chance to get one of those things, or is those just like kind of novelty kind of things?
So it's a very good question, and that's something that I think your subscribers need to hear. In our membership, we have a training in the membership called the Buyer's Certification Program, and it explains to you the different forms of precious metals and a lot of the tax advantages and buying advantages of the different forms. There are generic silver rounds, there are collectibles, there are bars, there's jewelry, and each of them has its benefits that we teach you in the training program. So the education really is a valuable thing when it comes to, should I invest, or is this a shady deal? We teach you how to avoid all the shady deals. Now, those commercials you referred to, those were commercials to bring your attention to the bullion, to the companies that were selling bullion, either silver or gold. Now, it's not a scam, but the thing you have to remember is that all precious metals come with a spot price and a premium. So spot price is the price of gold and silver set around the world, which is basically the cost of acquisition. Now, distribution channels, marketing and otherwise, is where the premiums come in. So while spot price for silver today is about, $28 an ounce, the premium on a silver eagle might be $40 an ounce. So you have to compare your premiums from your different outlets to determine if you're getting a good deal, but you can check it all against the spot price. So if I know spot price is 28 and you're paying 40, so I know I'm paying $12 for the premium. So if I can get it less than $12, then I'm getting a good deal. That's what spot and retail, or spot and premium, does for the calculation, so you can determine if you're getting a good deal.
Got it. So this has been great. This has been great. I have just a couple more questions. And I think that this is just to reinforce, I think, what you've already said early in the beginning, but I'm going to bring it to a higher level kind of a question. Tell me, Ben, what is your legacy type of feeling? What do you want to leave with the world when it's all said and done?
I want to leave people in a better space than they are now. I think that the banking system has really not done us any favors. I think that I have learned in my own lifetime that the amount of money that I have spent on interest by paying, this fee on the need to have something right now, I think is a legacy that we have to break. I think that we need to explain to our kids that you need to acquire an asset, your own bank, and that you can't spend more than you hold in your personal bank. Now you have to decide, if I want that new iPhone, am I willing to pull this amount of silver or this amount of gold out of my bank to go and buy that iPhone, because this is all I have right now. We have to stop buying things and acquiring things on credit, because you are cashing in on your future earnings every time you buy something on credit.
I love
And
it.
when I finally got my debt paid off and realized that acquiring something new had to be paid in full, I looked at things differently as to whether or not I wanted that item or not. And I think that we have done our children a disservice by allowing them to buy things on credit, even if it's our credit they were buying it on.
Right. Amazing stuff. That I love all of that, my friend. All of that. So one last question, and I'm just going to do this in general because you have such a unique niche. So I'm going to ask you this, and ask this of all of my guests. Go something like this. That people who are watching now, be listening later, they have similar goals, maybe similar interests as you, possibly. Maybe they want to be the next, Ben Rusk and being, the authority on buying gold and silver. Can you either tell them how to be an authority in this space or any space that they're in right now, as far as their business or their entrepreneurial pursuits?
Sure. I think that people need to realize that you need to be passionate. You need to find something that you believe in, and you need to find something that's here to leave the planet in a better state than you found it. And I think that that's the biggest benefit that I teach the people that I work with, is that if we're all out here to do good, then good things will happen. And helping the kids, if nothing else, we have to pass on the legacy of our mistakes so that they don't get repeated again in the future.
I love it. That's awesome. This has been amazing, Ben. Great stuff, man. Absolutely great stuff. Can you tell people now where they can find you after the show?
Absolutely. I've created a website called Cash Time Bomb because I really feel like we are on the precipice of a financial crisis in this country. And if people want to reach out to me there and just leave your name and number, and we will get in touch with you. And there's more information there as well. We'll be happy to get you a membership and get you on the path to buying gold and silver. I
love it. Awesome stuff, man. This has been great. I knew when we connected, I was like, okay, this is going to be different. It's going to be a little different from my show, but this guy is an authority. And if you don't know that he is now, I'm sure this is the guy to talk to about buying gold and silver. The passion is there. His knowledge is there. Go check it out. If you're interested, it seems to be the real deal. I've always thought about, these things here. As you said, I thought it was just a hobby, but now it seems to be more than just a hobby. So this is great stuff. You got me intrigued, my friend. Very intrigued.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be on your show. Thank you for the invite.
I appreciate it. I'm very honored to have you on here. So everybody, as we wrap up, remember, as I always say, build it, share it, and they will come. We'll see you next time. We're out of here.
And that's a wrap for this episode of The Authority Project. Thanks so much for tuning in. And if you like what you heard, we want to hear from you. Subscribe, rate, and give an honest review. Share and tell your friends so they can hear too. And for even more authority-building tactics, be sure to sign up at theauthorityletter.com. Get free weekly content and ongoing digital product giveaways to help you on your entrepreneurial journey. We certainly hope you got a key takeaway, or maybe an aha moment from today's broadcast. Just remember, it's your authority. Build it, share it, and they will come. Until next time.